Good morning to all my planner friends out there, wherever you may be. Today is Sunday, Mother's Day, May 12th, 2019. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Today I am doing a Plan With Me video. It has been forever since I did a Plan With Me video, but I had this idea for this layout and I thought it might be fun to show the process. So I'm using a Cocoa Daisy standard sized Daisy Dory insert. This is from the May 2019 Picket Fences kits. And these round sticky notes came with one of the planner kits. And my lovely friend Carolyn Jones, who is in the Cocoa Daisy Planner Fans group and on Instagram, I will link her Instagram down below. Last week, I think, did a planner layout where she put one of the round sticky notes in the middle of her layout, spanning the two sides, the two pages. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And I want to do something sort of like that. And I let it marinate in my mind a little bit because I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with those round sticky notes. And then I realized that the pages for this coming week were this in the shades of green and with these leafy artwork on it. And I thought, okay, this is the page that is calling for these sticky notes. And I decided to sort of take Carolyn's idea a step further and put more than one. And because I love those green bars that go across the page, the divider bars, I didn't want to cover those up. So I had the idea to cut the sticky notes down um, into quarters so that I could span those colored bars and not cover them up. So what I'm doing is, you can see I put the one whole sticky note up in the upper corner there, but I did sort of make it go off the page a little bit. I wanted to give the page some movement and have it feel like there was something happening that you couldn't see off the edge. And then for the left side here, I'm just using half the sticky note cut into two pieces, and see how the green bar there, you can see through the middle. I kind of like how that looks. Um, and now I'm going to take one more sticky, and this time I'm going to cut it into, again, fourths, but I'm going to use three of the pieces. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And you'll see what I'm about to do with those. I'm going to use three of them. At first I thought about all four, and then I thought, wait a second, let's do something interesting here. So I'm going to use three of those, and then in the space where the fourth one is supposed to be, you'll see what I'm going to do there in just a minute. So I got them, I'm putting these fairly close to the center. I'm not really worried about being exactly like too close to the binding. I wanted to be able to open and close the booklet without the edges of the stickies getting caught, so I did leave a little bit of a gap there. And here's the third one getting ready to be put down. I had kind of sketched on a piece of paper like the rough placement of where I thought these would be, and the way that I use these pages is I use each one of those blocks is a day of the week, except for the right bottom block, which is the weekend, so 2 days. And my initial thought with the placement of the quarter sticky notes was that there would be at least one piece showing on each block, and that's where the date would go for that block. And I decided to draw it out and see how I liked it. And I did two little sketches, and I did one where I put the dates, like where you see me stamping them right now. And then I did another one where I put the dates actually inside the little quarter circles, and I didn't like how it looked. When I first put down the little quarter circles, I thought, well, gosh, they look kind of empty. But as soon as I hand wrote the dates inside of them, I did not like how it looked at all. I felt like it was too busy, I don't know, it just took away from the beauty of those circles. So I decided to go ahead and stamp the dates where you see me putting them now. I'm using 3 different colors of green ink that I have in my stash. The top color ink that's in that little teardrop ink pad is Memento ink. That is a dye ink. Um, and Memento dye inks soak through your page and dye all of the fibers. And so if you're using thin paper, they easily bleed or shadow to the other side. However, the paper in the Cocoa Daisy inserts is really lovely and thick, and I don't have that problem, so I can use my dye inks in their booklets, which is lovely. The little square ink pads are from Versacolor, and they are pigment ink. Pigment inks sit on top of the page. They only color the top layer of fibers, so you generally, even with thin paper, don't have to worry too much about them shadowing or bleeding. So I'm finishing off here. I thought about using a contrasting color, but I really wanted to just keep this page very monochrome, very calm, very serene. So I decided to stick with the green. And then I was trying to decide what to do with the days of the week. So my first thought was to stamp them, but the bottom right corner segment there has a quarter of a circle in it and a lot of the printed artwork, and that is where I would put Saturday and Sunday. I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on the left side of the page, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the right side. So I use that bottom block for 2 days, and considering that I've used a lot of the real estate in that section already with the sticky note and the artwork, I wanted to use the word weekend. And none of my stamp sets have the word weekend in them, only the days of the week. So that sort of led me to the default of handwriting all of the days and weekend. So I'm just using a pen and taking my time with some cursive to make it look kind of pretty. At this point, I'm filling up now that quarter circle that I left empty. I decided to give that a little bit of interest. I found, pulled some stickers out of the kits that are greenery. At first I thought about putting maybe one of the hydrangea flowers there, but it really kind of looked, when I held it there, it looked kind of out of place. And I wanted to stick with the green and leafy theme. So I just thought that would look kind of cool there. And now it's time for bullet points. So I have a little square stamp that I often use for bullet points, but I decided this time that I would take this striped sticker that you see me cutting up, and I would use the top 3 green stripes and make little bullet points with a hole punch. So I cut the strips apart and then I hole punch them, and it seemed like a fantastic idea right up until the point where I was trying to separate the backing from the little round circles. You don't even want to know what a pain that was. I punched one out of the blue strip and the backing came off very easily, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. I'll have no problem doing this. And then of course I set up to film, and trying to get these backs off of the little round stickers was nigh on impossible. You're going to see me struggle with one of these here in a minute. And then through the magic of editing, I'm going to jump you to the end where they're almost all done, because this legit took probably 30 minutes to do. Not my best idea. I'll admit that right now. I wanted those colors. I probably could have just found a round stamp in my stash and gotten a similar effect, but I had this idea in my head and I just was not going to let go of it. So you see me right now struggling with the tweezers, trying to get the backs off, and man, what a pain that was. So yeah, let this be a lesson to anybody out there who's thinking about doing this type of thing. Just, it did not work well. So you're about to, actually what I'm doing right now is I stepped away for a second because I was starting to lose the daylight in the room, and I'm getting my, oh there they are, I'm getting my daylight lamp, one for either side. The camera was photographing nicely, but I could barely see. It was so dark in there. So yeah, I got my lights. And here I am struggling again with the date dots, or I'm sorry, not date dots, the little bullet point dots. So yeah, not my greatest idea. Have you ever had an idea that seemed good at the time and then just didn't work out? So I'm getting ready to skip you ahead here, because you just, hey, look at that, here we are. And you can see all the dots that I put down. And I've got these last 2 getting ready to go. I finally used my craft knife to make a little slit in the backing, and that made it easier to grab and peel up. Still, with those teeny dots, still not easy, but at least it was easier. So I debated after these dots whether or not to put anything else on this page, and honestly, again, I wanted to keep it clean and simple, and once I start writing next to those little dots, it's going to fill up. So I decided to leave it as it was. I wanted it to just be kind of stark and clean and simple. So this is it. I kind of like how it turned out. I hope you guys like it too. Let me show you. I'm getting ready to pull up a close-up here so you can kind of see what everything looks like. And I hope I see you around the Cocoa Daisy Planner Fans group. Follow me on Instagram. I'm at TeachPlanCraft, and I'll see you next time.